All right. Hello again. I have no idea if you're watching the same day or not, but I'm gonna say I'm gonna continue as if you're not. Good morning or good afternoon. Nice to have you back. I am doing it on the same day, so if I continue to yawn through this one as well, I do apologise. It should be quicker because now we are just moving on. All right. In our last one, you hopefully decided on what option you were doing, 1, 2, or 3, public service, movie, or advert. You've hopefully chosen roughly what genre, tone, style you're going for, and loosely what it's going to look like. Okay, what kind of narrative it's going to follow. If you've had any issues, hopefully you've emailed me. If I haven't got back to you, you're hopefully just carrying on, and we can kind of tweak it as we go on. What we're going to do just now is we're going to start responding to the brief, and this is just a planning stage. Okay, this is very much a stepping stone between 1, deciding what you're doing, and step 3, which is actually writing stuff up. You will find that I have kind of questions for you I want you to answer, and I've got a table for you to fill out and things like that. It's important to bear in mind that here you've got to reference the brief. When you are responding to the brief, you have to reference the brief. If the brief says make an advert, you have to keep referencing that this is an advert, and you know this is an advert, and your plan is based on it being an advert. A moving picture, 30-second long teenage targeting advert. All right? You have to keep coming back to the brief at this stage because it's in the name of the task. All right, you are responding to the brief right now, and that'll be a big thing that I will be looking for. I'll get rid of my face again. Bye bye, and we'll have a look over here. So, when we're responding to the brief, we're doing so using categories as our key focus. There's not much guidance on how you respond to the brief, so I looked into it. I emailed a few colleagues in other schools. I looked at some successful examples online on the SQA website, and I decided categories was quite a safe bet. There's not much of a scope to talk about categories later on in your assignment, and it's planning your categories well will actually lead to a solid plan. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to get 5 marks, okay, which means we need 5 separate paragraphs, 1 on form, 1 on purpose, 1 on genre, 1 on audience, and 1 on editing. Audience and editing are slightly different, but we will be talking about them with the specific view of linking it back to our form, purpose, and genre, which will link it back subsequently to our categories. All right. There's a planning booklet in the Teams folder called 3 Responding to the Brief Planning, which I'm going to talk through just now. And guys, just to be clear, once I've talked through that, I'm going to recap what you need to do, and that'll be the end of this loom. So theoretically, this could go quite quickly. What I want you to make sure is that you have downloaded that, or that you have access to it. Maybe it's printed off. If you were in class, I did hand out printed copies. If you weren't in class, if you can print it off, that might help. Or at least if you can kind of refer to it afterwards and use it, it would certainly help you with your planning. So make sure you do have access to this. If you need to pause me for a wee minute to get access to it, then do that now. That was also a sneaky opportunity for a yawn. Right. Oh, I actually need to go to it. I was just about to click on, but no, I need to go to thing number 3. Number three, responding to the brief. So, this is my sheet that I've made up for you for responding to the brief. As you can see, it's highly technical, full of a great variety of instructions and language. It's going to take a lot of explaining. It's funny because it's not. Here are the 5 elements I just told you about. Okay, you have to tell me what you're going to do in response to that element and explain to me how it fits to the brief. Just now, that's actually all I need. All right, this is just a planning stage, just to make sure you know where you're going with this. So, target audiences, all of you will be going, okay, well, one of my key target audiences is teenagers. I'm actually going to predominantly target women. I'm going to predominantly target single. Let's think about lifestyle. You might go sporty. You might go X, Y, Z. All right, I don't know. Okay. Or you might go, I'm going to target teenagers, but mine's going to be a specific target for LGBTQ plus teenagers. All right. It's going to be that's going to be a key demographic that I want to come and watch my content. The first thing you do is you tell me, what have you chosen? Once you've done that, you'll explain to me why. So let's say I've gone for teenagers, I've gone specifically for 11 to 14-year-olds, I have gone for in education, and I've gone for in the Bears Bend area. Alright. Plus or minus 5 miles. I don't actually know how much 5 miles is. And my minus didn't work until a 1. I thought that didn't look right. Where's minus? There's minus. Alright. Then I have to have a very quick think about, okay, why am I targeting them? Well, I'm making a public service announcement to the children in a Bears Bend school. Okay, and I might put that in. Now, the headings aren't hard and fast. They're just to get you to think about the key things that you're talking about. But what I want you to bear in mind is I've only done one wee bit, and in this section there are probably around 20 words, right? 20, 40, 60, 80. So each of these little paragraphs will ultimately need to be about 150 words, right? But considering this is just a little plan, this is quite good. This is a solid start. Then the next thing I need to think about is how does this fit in with the brief, and you might even want to think about what are you going to do or how are you going to do it, okay? What or how are you going to do it? It's a very poor English, but today I'm a media teacher, not an English teacher, so it doesn't matter, it doesn't count. Nobody can judge me. And then you might go, okay, so how does it fit with the brief? The brief is XYZ, so I am doing this, whatever this may be. I am going to target this audience by ABC. Alright? I know where C is. Again, this isn't hard and fast. This is a wee planning stage. So the first thing you're going to plan is your target audience. I need you to plan your target audience first, because only once you're aware of your target audience and what your target audience are going to get from your piece of media, can you move on to purpose. And only once you're aware of your target audience and your purpose can you start choosing an appropriate form and genre. And only once you've done that can you start thinking about, okay, if I'm doing this, what kind of equipment will I need? And then you can think about, okay, with the equipment available and my purpose and my target audience, what am I going to, what tone am I going to create? So in each instance, you're just telling me, what are you going to do? Why are you going to do it? How are you going to do it? And how does it fit with the brief? All right. I will not collect these in. If you want to show it to me, if you're uncertain, you absolutely can, but I won't collect these in. These are for your benefit. This is a planning stage to make sure that you have enough to talk about for your assignment. Because ultimately, when you're all said and done with this part, with your responding to the brief, it should be between 750 to 1,000 words, 1,250 at the absolute upper max. Okay. So target audience, think about who you're targeting. Purpose, what are you wanting them to gain from it? Form and genre, where is it going to appear? How is it going to appear? What genres are you going to use? Equipment, what equipment are you going to use and why? How might that help you? How might that hinder you? How would it limit you? And then tone and style. Okay, in tone and style, you're thinking, is it formal or informal? Is it serious or comedic? Kind of what kind of things are you going on there? That's very much similar to English. Okay, so that's not what I want. That's not what I want. This is what I want. So when you're moving on from this really should have just been in the same order as my my thing here, but it's not. You want to think about form, where is it going to appear and why, purpose, what's it going to do, genres, what conventions are you going to use and why, audience, who's it for, how are you targeting them, and editing, what will you do and why will you do it that way. Editing very much is specific to form. If you're doing an advert, you're going to have quick edits, okay? It's going to cut back and forth very quickly. If you're doing a public service announcement, I would recommend kind of a few quick edits, maybe changes of tone, changes of music to make it varied and interesting. If you've seen any of the public service announcements out on coronavirus at the moment, a lot of them are deathly dull and boring, and they do not hold a classroom's attention. Right? You need to try and think, how am I going to do that differently? And if you're doing a movie, I would suggest your edits are minimal. I would want a kind of extended scenes to develop one solid narrative. Okay. So by the end of this one, hopefully you've understood now what I'm expecting from that table. It is a planning table. Don't worry too much if you're slightly confused by one of the sections. Realistically, I just want to know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're doing it. All right. So what form, why that form, how are you going to create it in that form, what purpose, why that purpose, how are you going to be successful with that purpose, what genre, why that genre, how are you going to create that genre, things like that. Okay, nothing too complicated. This has actually been a much shorter one, which is lovely. Next up, we're going to look at responding to the brief. So in the next one, we'll have a wee look at number 4, NB Media Assignment Guidance, which is guidance that I pilfered from another school, but is very good. And we'll look at BA, which is for Beauclair Academy, Media Planning Guidance as well. So before number 3, you might want to download them, and we'll look at what you're going to do for your assignment. Hopefully that has been of a little bit of help, but I don't want to prattle on too long, so I'm going to stop just now, and I will catch you in a wee minute, or whenever you choose to do the third one, if you choose to do it. Have a lovely day.